Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Unlocked Radio here on Monday, February 24th, 2014. I always have to look for somebody for confirmation on what freaking day it actually is.
Crikey, don't ask
Monday
me.
thing that I remember. I remember that it's a Monday, and that's about as far as it goes. But
It's
you're here
Monday,
listening.
I'm here, that's that.
Yeah, I just don't know which date it actually is because those kind of fly through.
Irrelevant.
But yeah, it is February 24th. We're kind of nearing the end here of the winter, so we're going to get into some cool kind of stuff. One of those things happens to do with what usually happens in the very beginning of March, even though nobody in Ohio seems to expect it, but we'll get to that in a bit. It has something to do with the blizzard. But we're here at Unlocked Radio, here on Morning Show Central Radio Network. You can check us out at facebook.com/unlockedradio, twitter.com you just go at Unlocked Radio if you're doing it on Twitter, on your app, your phone, whatever you want to do, youtube.com/unlockedradio, or just go to unlockedradio.com to find all of our archive shows, anything you might have missed, any of the links that you didn't quite jot down in your little handy-dandy notebook you have there. And what else can they do? How else can they get in touch with us?
They can call the studio toll free at 888-668-0742. I think that's right.
Yeah, they sure can.
I remembered it.
He remembered it all by himself. Yes, 888-668-0742 to call into the show toll free. Give us your opinions, ask us questions, whatever you want to do. Try not to heckle us too bad. I mean, we might fire back, and you never know what happens. It'll get ugly here.
Shots fired.
Good eye, Mites. Anyways, so today we're going to be going a little in-depth into beta testing since there's currently a shit ton, literally a metric shit ton of betas currently out there. We are joined tonight by our beautiful, beautiful guest. All right, well, I guess you could call him beautiful. Why don't you introduce yourself, Tracy?
He didn't feed into it very well.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I am the beautiful Tracy Hodge.
All right, so yeah, you guys may remember him from a previous episode, very early in our career here as gaming radio hosts. So, for those of you who don't know, he kind of had a little bit of the insight on MOBAs and MMOs and everything, doing the online games. And with that, with games of that magnitude, you typically get your fair share of beta testing. It's very necessary, and it's also much easier to get into than a certain amount of other things. Well, just because it's massive and online. That sort of thing.
Sometimes you have very small closed betas.
Yeah, you get closed betas. Usually,
Sometimes
they
you have
almost
completely
always open.
locked closed betas where they don't even let people in until they release the game.
Yeah, there's that too. Most of the time, they do end up going into open betas at some point or another. Usually, either if they don't find it or whatever. There's obviously we're going to get into that, all the different types of beta testing that there are: closed, open, like really invite only is the paid ones, the non-paid ones, everything in between. And Tracy's going to help us with that.
Well, there's the paid and there's the pay to play, so there's difference on that. But let's get into first, what is a beta for those of you who don't know? Sad little people.
Well, basically a beta is their way of working out the kinks in the game. They have to do stress testing, you have to test combat, you have to make sure the quests work. Heck, you have to make sure that people can even log into the game, which a lot of companies seem to have a problem with sometimes. League of Legends, I'm still looking at you. But anyways.
Yeah, right. Get your shit together.
But yeah, basically the betas, when they grab a bunch of testers, they usually do a little bit of a background check, some do, to make sure that you actually will test their game and you're not just there to play and take up space and do nothing. They expect you to send them information about what's going on, what's wrong, if you have any ideas to fix it, and they expect you to test it maliciously to the point that they can actually do something
Not
with
just use it as an excuse to play the game early.
Yep, that means running into the corners of the map and seeing if you go through them.
Ah, that horse that used to scale walls in Skyrim. If only they would have had a beta tester to test it so that the horse didn't defy gravity. Oh, well.
Gravity-defying horses.
But that actually sounds sweet.
You're fighting dragons. You are the Dragonborn.
If I were Bethesda,
Why
I'd
can't your horse
pretend
fly?
to have done that deliberately.
Yeah, chariot of fire going through the sky carried by this horse who's stronger than you are.
Yep. Epic horse. It's like a Kona in Legend of Zelda. It's so much better than you are.
Right. At first, you have a hard time jumping over little itty-bitty hurdles, but suddenly you can jump over the entire
Gerudo
wall.
Valley.
Yeah.
Well, 20-foot gap, no problem. I've got a horse.
Grand Canyon. Got this.
Leap over a wall that's like 6 times as high as I am, at least.
It's okay.
That's a horse's height, including yours.
Magic horse. Don't question it. There's fairies that you can capture in jars.
That's true.
So, also you can cut the grass with a sword.
And get rupees.
You fight in a castle on a floating citadel.
I'm just saying, guys, I've never cut my grass with a sword because, well, I don't have a sword sharp enough. And secondly,
you carry 20 bombs twice the size of your head in your pocket.
Yeah. He doesn't have pockets. It's a tunic.
You just walk around with a katana and just spinning slash my yard. It's awesome. Really, it is. I've done it.
Why does this grass grow back so fast?
Right? I went inside, grabbed a sandwich, came back. There's more grass. But anyways, and I never find money in my lawn when I cut it. Have you guys found money in your lawn?
No.
If I do a spinning slash and find a gold bar, I mean, I think that might be a good day.
Rupees. Yeah, finding rupees in your front yard. Usually, it's just some little like pack-a-tans type things, and you usually find it with your lawnmower, and someone else finds it in their leg.
Bag of Lay's potato chips, or I found some other interesting things in my yard all the time. Tennis ball was actually my favorite because when that thing came out of the lawnmower, oh man.
Yeah. I found a rupee in my yard once. It looked more like a rock and it wasn't worth anything, but I found one.
Yeah, all right. Well, I mean, I guess that happens. Anyways, so let's get into some of the newer betas that are out there. What do we got currently?
All right, so one of the biggest ones that everyone's playing right now because they decided to start their beta on Valentine's Day. I'm sure there were some women that were very pissed about this. I'm sure there were some men that thought that it was a good idea to play Titanfall instead of going out on a date.
Hey, there were some people who who freed up a lot of time because of this.
It was like, well, I don't have time to play it. I do now. But yes, Titanfall is currently one of the betas that they're running. One of their biggest problems that they have right now is their AI-controlled opponents. Because for the people who aren't so good at first-person shooters, if you can't kill normal people, you can go kill a bunch of AI people in the background so that you're still high up on the ladder instead of actually killing normal people. They thought this was a good idea, but from watching it in practice, people just farm the AI-controlled opponents.
Yeah.
Until, a Titan drops nearby, then they jump into Titan, kill a bunch of people, or they wait for someone else to jump into Titan, kill it on its weak spot, and then go back to farming people again. You've got people farming AI-controlled opponents. You've got people who aren't actually playing this game who are dragging down your team.
Well, you got to look. I mean, you're going to have 12-year-olds in any game. Especially if it's on Xbox.
Yeah, but the 12-year-olds at least are trying to kill you. You have these AI-controlled opponents that really can't. Because, I mean, if the AI is walking around and you're sniping it from a building, it's not really looking to snipe you back. It's just kind of running around following its path while you're just killing it mercilessly because you can, mowing things down like grass.
Got it. Invisible AI with snipers. Picking you off from across the map would be epic.
Yeah.
Throwing a tomahawk and killing you.
Making an intelligent AI is something that can prove pretty darn difficult.
AI campers.
Yeah. AI campers. Oh, God.
Solution to all your beta testing needs.
Personally,
AI
I think that's
campers.
personally, and a lot of people will bitch about that, but I think that's actually a pretty good idea. Not specifically AI campers, but to have multiple personalities to select from for said AI to put on your team, especially when so many online games are becoming team-based now because people enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like Left 4 Dead.
You're going to need your gung-ho.
Coming out, going to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, but of course, a lot of people are scared of, AI campers. I walk around this corner and all of a sudden there's 3 missiles, 2 grenades, a couple rocket launchers that are just shooting out, automatic rockets at me, and a Titan all standing there. None of them are player controlled. They're just killing me. But that doesn't actually happen in Titanfall yet.
Yes. When they try to balance the AI, they're gonna have some issues with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely different personalities would definitely help. So anyone who's beta testing,
I think it would be fun to have a different, not the same kind of AI doing the same kind of thing over and over again. Like, I have a gung-ho AI that's just going to run around and shoot everything that it detects.
AKA kamikaze, pull out the hand grenades and start walking.
Run towards a group of people with grenades strapped to his chest.
Yeah.
Just maybe.
Yeah, I want like a kamikaze AI personality. I want a camper personality. I want one that kind of just like frantically runs around and shoots at things and sprays and prays kind of deal.
I want a troller. I want someone that just walks around and just kind of shoots you once and then hides and makes jokes about how terrible you are.
Yeah, or one that's like really good at sniping but like really bad at nades, or one that's really good at nades but you give him a sniper rifle and he doesn't have a prayer.
He doesn't know how to load it.
It's over there and he's shooting somewhere in the sky somewhere. That plane can't be taken down that way, guys.
All right, so these are the kind of things that beta testing does. Now, yeah, that's one of the more recent ones you had. You said you had a couple of others.
Let's see. We have Aura Kingdom, which technically is released, but it's still actually still in beta. It's one of the premier free-to-play beta games. Basically, it's from a company that's not really well known, so I'm not going to bother throwing their name out there, primarily because I don't want to advertise for them. But they are doing a very good job with this game. It's comparable to what people call the anime Log Horizon. You log into the world, you do things with your guild, it has massive guild battles, and you actually get a pet that actually helps you, and it's 10 times stronger than you are, which leads to some very interesting boss battles once your pet dies.
Ouch.
He's like, oh, I've got this, and that pet's gone. What now? But they're trying to work on the balancing aspect of it, because right now the PvP in it is pretty much just you come out, you start fighting, and someone hits a combo skill, and next thing you know, you've taken 200,000 damage, and you only have a 20k life bar.
Well,
Sounds like the Necro Bomb.
you didn't just die once. That wasn't enough.
Sounds like Guild Wars Necro
You had to
Bomb.
die 10 times.
I can kill your entire team with one shot.
He's like, oh, is this AoE? Cool, I'll just wipe the board. Let's
Yeah,
start over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how many 9s can I fit on this screen? Well, that's how many I did.
Over 9,000.
But on the subject of sleepers, we also have Hearthstone come out, which is Blizzard's take at a trading card game.
Now
It's
that
currently in beta.
that went into open beta at like a month ago, right? January
Yes.
21st, but it was in closed beta since last August.
Yes.
Yes, it was indeed. What they've done with this game is they've created stylized images for each individual card, but you only get 10 crystals of mana. Every time you play a creature, it takes away from that mana for that turn. You start off with 1, you end up with 10 by the 10th turn, and there are some pretty interesting things that you can do with these decks, such as control decks where things can't move for 2 to 3 turns at a time, decks where you can instantly assassinate monsters that come out. Oh, you've got a 9/9 out? Cool, I'll just use assassinate for 5 crystals, kill it, and then attack you. They work off of base of player powers and things like that, but right now they're trying to balance things because, as with most trading card games, there's always going to be the overpowered.
As any card game that happens with any sort of deck building games, trading card games, Magic, it's usually like a lot of the times ends up like with Magic, at least it becomes a stock market, and one really sweet combo is pulled off in a tournament, and next thing you know, everyone's paying hundreds of dollars for that card. But is that going to be what they're planning with this game? Because, I mean, it is an online trading card game, is it not?
Yes, it is. So what they're basically working with is that you will pay for boosters. You get a little currency called gold, which you can actually buy as well, but you get it from winning matches and things of that nature. And then you'll buy a 5-card booster. When you open this booster, you'll get randomly allocated cards from the plethora of cards that they actually have. Some are legendary, some have extreme effects, and some are complete crap, like their chicken, which is a 1/1, but every time it's attacked, it gains 5 attack. But if it's a 1/1 and it dies, then, well, yeah. So you can buff it up, and all of a sudden, you can kill someone with a 9-1 chicken, because it has 1 health and 9 damage, and you're just beating away with them with a card that only costs 1 crystal to use at the beginning of the match.
And it's weird because in Magic the Gathering, there are some cards that are like that.
Magic the Gathering unglued, anyone?
I'm talking about actual, the play sets that they've come out with over the years. There have been some combos. There have been some cards that were just so broken, and that's why they have a banned list. However, when you're doing an online, trading card game, it's a little harder to have a banned list. Mm-hmm. You don't want to restrict things if people are using money to buy them, and it causes problems. You don't want to piss everybody off and get them to stop playing your game. Magic had such a large following and so many good cards, plus with different formats to play, it made it a little bit more accessible. So
their way of kind of balancing out the whole not having a ban list is they have an arena mode. In arena mode, you are presented with a certain amount of cards that you're allowed to choose from. You start off by choosing 3, choosing 3, etc., and you just basically build your deck this way, but it's still randomly generated from the cards that you currently have in your deck. So you could end up, playing as a sorceress and you have all these cards that you paid for, but never getting them in your card draws, and then you start arena mode, Once you lose 3, you're out. You can continue to climb the ladder, and you'll get more gold based upon that. That's their way to keep people from having to spend too much money on this.
Right. But there's still that option to just earn the gold and not actually pay for it that way.
Yeah, you don't have to pay the win. You can pay the win, but that doesn't mean you'll necessarily win.
Although with
which I
trading
definitely
card
like.
games, that usually ends up being that way
Yeah.
anyway, because and people like to say like, no, it's all about like if I'm really good and I don't have a whole lot of money. It's like the simple fact that there are exceptions to every rule, but the simple fact of the matter is the more money you spend in the game, the more possibilities you have to get the cards that you need to do the strategy that you want, which gives you more options for strategies in the first place.
However, by not selling singles, as it being online, without selling the singles, you actually have a better chance of having a low probability of good cards. So someone who got really lucky and only bought 3 boosters could have a better deck than someone who paid like $100 of actual real people money, got a ton of boosters, and has crap.
Yeah. So, I mean, do they plan on doing that at some point, making like individual cards able to purchase?
As of right now, there's no ability to do it, and they haven't talked about it because they want to keep the randomness in there to keep it so that the people who are, say I've got $100 to spend, so I'm just going to, buy 100 packs. 100 packs? No,
I feel like they can make more money by doing like having like an individual card
cards
that somebody's like willing to pay $100 for, and then there you go. Then again, you're paying it straight to them. They can raise their stock market however they see fit. They have their own little personal economy in the game based on how.
The issue with selling the singles is, again, you'll have people that want to spend more money and end up becoming overpowered, and that's going to be an unfair advantage because now they're going to be fed. They're going to have they're going to be able to climb the ladder fast because they have better cards. They're going to be able to. It's not going to be based off your skill as a player of, hey, what do you got? What can you work with, and how versatile are you? It's going to be more of, hey, I know this works. I'm going to buy these cards. I'm going to beat the crap out of everybody. And then once I'm climbing the ladder, I have a ton more gold to buy other singles.
However, there are other checks and balances in place for people like that. You have this person who's, they've plunked down $1,000 for all of these cards. They've got all these big creatures, etc., etc. They're going versus a priestess. One of the priestess-only cards, because they do have individual classes which can only use certain cards. Those certain cards can only be used by those classes. Is mind control. It's like, you just put down this incredibly just terror creature. Mind control. It's mine now. Oh, you buffed up that creature too? Well, I just mind control it. So all of the buffs and everything that you've done to this card to turn this, 10-10 into a 25-15, well, it's mine now. Now you have to deal with your card copy.
Yeah.
I'm a sorceress, and you just played this card that's a 10-10, and you're about to wreck my face. Well, I have Mirror Entity, so now I have your card. You have it too, so you have to deal with your card or attack me, and then I'll just attack you with this card and use Blizzard to control you because Blizzard is sorceress only. Things like that are their checks and balances to keep people from just spending their entire
Obviously,
wallet.
the games continue. It can, just like League, it will continue to balance out, then unbalance, balance, and unbalance as things get nerfed and buffed. New cards come out to be the answer for certain other things that seem to be broken. But what you're saying, like, hey, somebody could just spend a bunch of money to get all the individual cards they want, and that's kind of unfair. In the same respect, it's also kind of unfair to, like I say, if I'm paying so much money, I'm paying money because I want something specifically. If I'm paying money for what turns out to be a bunch of crap, now I feel like I wasted my money and I'm no longer playing the game.
Yeah, the wasting money aspect comes with it, but it comes with also Magic the Gathering and any other trading card game.
But those people have the opportunity to and for Magic, they can choose to buy boosters and possibly waste their money, or they can choose to just outright buy the individual card that they want.
Basically
Therefore, they're buying their way into it. It's kind of like if you were to join a hockey team, but you weren't able to go buy your own equipment. You just kind of had to pull out of a lost and found basket and just hope for the best.
The quality kind of sucks.
Hey,
like
I think it would make it a lot more
and a
interesting.
size 12. I have one size 10 boot and one size 12 boot. This isn't gonna. I'm already fumbling around here. I only have 3 shoelaces. One of them is significantly shorter than the other, so this ankle's a bit loose, and this shin guard goes all the way up to like past my femur.
Sounds unpleasant.
Yeah, I'm just saying this would make it a lot more
getting at.
interesting.
Yeah, it's like I feel like that sort of thing should be allowed, but you still have to try to put that. It's going to require more checks and balances, more balancing out. But
I'm sure at some point they'll figure out a way to make it so that they kind of have a player market base. This guy has these cards he doesn't really want.
I feel like that would fund the company better, as far as like allowing that's money going to them in order to purchase the cards. Yeah. That's more money going into the company that they can then use to better the game even further and put more effort in balancing it out. Maybe even allow for more beta testing with even possible paying people to do it, or hiring more people to come up with more things that could help it out even further. It's unfortunately, it's like money isn't everything, but once again, try living without it.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on from Hearthstone. What about let's go with have another example.
Another example is a game called Rust. Rust is an early access beta. Basically, it's a survival horror. It's a survival horror MMO builder game. So you're dropped into the middle of the wilderness with no clothes and a rock.
All right, this is a good. I mean, because if you're dropped in the woods, you can't find a rock.
Their take on this is that instead of giving you a pickaxe to mine like Minecraft or things like that, you have to take this rock and beat on rocks to get material off of these rocks. So from doing that, you then start to make your shelter. Well, the first shelter that you make has cracks in it. This game is full PvP 100% of the time. There are other people with rocks willing to kill you and take your rock. Yeah. I actually read a testimony of a guy that said within his first hour of playing, someone found him with a gun that they had made and said, drop your rock and your campfire and walk away. Just walk away.
I was gonna take my campfire with me.
The game supports a local area chat system where you can actually use your mic to chat with people. So as you're coming up on this person, you can actually start talking to them. Are you friendly? Are you not friendly? So
within a certain distance.
Yeah. So like you'll be outside the house. Someone will be outside your structure, and they'll be like, "Hey, are you friendly?" And the person says yes or no. If they say no, well, then you can start beating on their door with your rock, or you can attach C4 to it if you've made C4 by this point. But the survival horror aspect in it, there are actually zombies, and there are areas in this game that are radiated that contain mostly the good stuff. You'll find your guns, your Kevlar vests, your bars that make it so that you don't take radiation damage, radiation suits in these areas, but there are people fighting over these things. But it's still in early access right now, so there's not really much to do.
Right. I have seen a lot about that game and watched I watched a documentary type thing with the people, the developers and everything talking about it, where they were literally going on hikes with a bunch of equipment to record the visuals, to take pictures, to take video, to take audio. Seeing like what it felt like walking up, doing motion capture as they walked around and hiked through this place, and then getting the sounds of all the birds and things that they're going to have in the background and everything to make this full-fledged thing. And they're like, yeah, by the way, you're just going to be, fighting to survive here. Like, you literally need to find food and shelter and things. You can't just, it's...
You can't just
kind
stagnate.
of a one-time thing. Yeah, you die, and then you got to go back in and then keep going. So... Yeah.
It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this rock.
However, the way of also making it just a little bit more dangerous to survive in is that when you log out, you go to sleep in your position. You're still in the game client sleeping even though you're logged out. So even if you're in your house, you can log out. Someone can, if they're really bored, beat down your door and then build their house over your house and create another door and lock you inside your house, taking you prisoner for the rest of your online life if you can't figure out a way out of it. You're left inside your house with your rock, and now you have to beat your way out of your own door. And this person has set up a maze of traps for you to get outside. It's almost a little bit like Saw.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that's why you build windows in your house and you use your rock to break your windows.
Or at least the second floor.
Something.
Personally, I'm just going to use the fire.
Just light the house on fire.
Have fun with what you've built.
You built your house on top of mine. I'll just light my house on fire. I'm willing to take myself out. I hope you're here too.
It's kindling. My house is kindling for your house.
It's like, as he finally escapes, well, by that point, I'll be back in the game with my rock.
I'll be camping for you.
Sitting over
literally
your door,
camping,
standing, rock in hand. Just drop this rock on your head. But yeah, that's one of the other fun games that I've seen. There's a couple others that are like really big not really big name, but then there's the one that everybody's waiting for, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
Like, which from what I've heard from reports, the combat's a little clunky, the storyline's a little lackluster, and they don't know how they want to do faction wars yet.
Right.
So
all these things that they said they wanted to do, but they don't even have it. The stories finished.
But this leads into one of the biggest parts of beta testing. If you have people testing your game, you have to actually let them test it. Letting people test your game for a day at a time because you think that it's cool to hype your game up, that doesn't actually get anything done. You get a bunch of people rushing the gate. They do as much stuff as they can, get some pictures for their friends so they can show to people that didn't get in, but they don't actually test anything. Combat never got tested because, they had a weekend beta test.
Yeah.
If they would have instead had a 2-month-long beta test from the time they opened the floodgates, then they would have got their stress test done, they would have got their combat and quests done, they would have got their storyline done, which now the storyline has holes in it. And everyone's asking why. This game comes out on PS4 in June. But they're still working out the kinks of a storyline, which that's supposed to have been done a year ago.
Yeah, usually you work on the storyline before you even start developing the game, because that way at least you know where you're going.
Unless it's a fighting game. You just make the characters, you put them up against each other, and then you go, all right, how am I going to make them fight?
Yeah, but in the case of that, then you have Killer Instinct, another game that needed to be beta tested. When the game finally released, a few months later, they released Spinal. Untested character, never had beta testing at all. The first tournament he was in, he was instantly banned because what happened is if he was fighting on Jago's stage and teleported to the left of Jago, he froze the entire Xbox One. Bricking the Xbox One and disqualifying the person that was playing Spinal, who had no idea what even happened.
Wow.
And that's why we have beta testing. Beta testing is something that's necessary for games, and a lot of companies don't want to embrace it because they don't want to spend their time creating a server and paying money out of their pockets to run a server for other people to test their game.
Exactly.
Right. They think of their personal testers are going to have all the answers. Now, certain companies do that pretty well. The company that made the people that made Left 4 Dead and that are now currently working on Evolve, they kind of do that sort of thing when they were doing everything with Unreal engines, and when what initially started, because Left 4 Dead initially started as just a group of people making bots for the knife game, basically for Counter-Strike.
That I did not know.
It was just supposed to be like, well, we don't necessarily have zombies, but we're gonna make it just an immensely large number of bots that only have a knife, and they're all trying to rush you to kill you. And all you're doing is like, I'm trying to kill all these people, and they're all just running at me with knives. And then Counter-Strikers, you're like, well, I'm not used to that many people being here, so that's kind of terrifying. And you're like, we could have a whole new thing about this, and then that eventually turned into Left 4 Dead.
You have
they started doing more
it.
people with that, have it evolved a little bit. They started putting up those things, but the way that their studio was set up, the way they have everything on, for one, they have everything on one floor, and they don't have individual rooms or cubicles or anything locked down. So all of their workstations are on wheels, so they are encouraged. They rearrange the floor once a month to put people near new people so that they can collude on their ideas easier.
That is
and
amazing.
They are encouraged. They have no walls in there, so they are encouraged, like just pillars and stuff like that, obviously to keep the foundation up. But no cubicle walls or anything, just the desks and their workstations, but all of which can move. But they're then encouraged to yell across and talk across and, hey, let me go see what that person's over there is doing, and kind of share all of their ideas and keep everything working together, instead of, hey, I'm going to work on this by myself for 3 months, and then we all get into a meeting room and I show you what I have. Let's go back to our own drawing boards and work on it. All right, running out of time here before the break, but when we come back, we're going to go into a little bit more on how to actually get into beta testing in the first place, and how to provide your insight to the world of gaming, make your favorite games better, as well as some of the intricacies and more important things about what it's all about and why to actually do it. You're listening to Unlocked Radio with Chip, Rio, and our guest Tracy. We'll be back in 10.
Oh, great. Not another Farmville request. Check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/ facebook.com/morningshowcentral. Denying one farm bill request at a time. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningsHowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com.
I knew something was wrong when a little pretty white girl ran into a black man's arms.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
I know. Oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious, I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more. I can almost taste it. Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
User-friendly and ready to serve. MorningsHowCentral.com.
Yo, it's Woody. Now, I know a thing or two about women, and I want to help all the ladies out there take care of their men. Happy Endings Orgasmically Organic Massage Oil. Yeah, I said orgasmically organic. Made right here in Cleveland. Now, no other product delivers this level of purity and performance. It's guaranteed to improve your overall experience and keeps that sensitive skin soft and smooth. Guys, don't be a tool. You're doing it anyway. Might as well do it right. Get your happy ending at happyendingsoil.com. That's happyendingsoil.com.
Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. If you have a product or service, let people know about it. Get your message out there and advertise on MSC Radio Network. It's easier than you think, and the whole planet is listening. Find out how you can advertise. Email Chris at morningshowcentral.com.
Oh, wow. Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Jack of all trades, now available for hire. No job too big or too small. All work to be filmed for possible reality TV show. Drywall, electrical, carpentry, basement/bathroom remodels, plumbing, roofing, flooring, painting, etc. Call 216-835-5465. Leave a message.
MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following. This bowel movement won't come out.
Check us out on Twitter at Twitter.com/MSC Radio Network.
This is President Barack Obama, and you're listening to MSC Radio Network.
Pete 99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. With hundreds of live weather products and layers and thousands of combinations, Weather Studio provides a professional graphics and store monitoring solution without complex user knowledge and without the industry standard price tag of $1,000 plus broadcast systems. Weather Studio displays a plethora of critical atmospheric and geophysical data on an interactive GIS-enabled computer map. Get your free 14-day trial of Weather Studio at their website, weatherstudio.paulmarv.com. That's weatherstudio.paulmarv.com.
I know, oh my God, I know what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so delicious I can almost taste it.
If you're looking for the best sub shop in town, look no further. Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue, is the place for you. Stop in for a cold cut sub, cheeseburger and fries, wingdings and fries, and so much more. And almost taste it. Hanini Subs at 7310 Lorraine Avenue is open 24 hours a day. Check them out on Facebook, facebook.com/burrito crazy. And if you mention MSC Radio Network, you'll get $1 off your meal. It's all good at Hanini Subs.
So damn good.
Lakewood Computer, located at 14035 Madison Avenue in Lakewood, has it all. If you're in need of computer repairs or want to cut the cost of ink cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computer in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, Lakewood Computer has been providing you with a huge assortment of computer equipment and services at very competitive prices. Lakewood Computer purchases and sells pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment, and they offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner cartridges and ink cartridges. With 29 years of professional experience, Lakewood Computer is highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at joeslakewoodcomputer.com. That's joeslakewoodcomputer.com. Or give them a call toll-free, 855-580-0768. That's 855-580-0768. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
And welcome back to Unlocked Radio right here at Morning Show Central Radio Network. Before the break, we were talking about beta testing and all the different games that have recently gone under beta testing, all the things that beta testers have helped do to those games, and the flaws that they help point out, because if it weren't for beta testers, your games would be shitty.
And you can tell which ones haven't been beta tested.
Yeah, you can tell which ones haven't been. We also, before we want to get started here again, we want to mention that coming up next will be High on Sports here on Morning Show Central Radio Network, followed by Everything in Between with Tom Von Erich. What else do we really need to go into? I mean, Joe's Lakewood Computers and Hanini Subs, you know all that spiel.
Yeah. It's let me grab my papers, making me read and stuff. All right, check out Joe's Lakewood Computers at 14035 Madison Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44107-4531. Call them toll-free at 855-580-0768. If you're needing computer repairs or want to cut the cost of cartridges and printing supplies, count on Lakewood Computers in Lakewood, Ohio to provide it all. For the past 5 years, they've been providing you with a huge assortment of computers, equipment, and services at very competitive prices. They purchase and sell pre-owned desktops, laptops, and related equipment. They offer outstanding prices on aftermarket printing supplies, including toner, ink cartridges, and in addition to their cost-effective computers and computing products, they also provide service and repairs for HP LaserJet printers and a complete menu of personal as well as commercial computer repairs. With over 29 years of professional experience, they are highly confident in their ability to enhance your overall computing experience. Check them out online at www. That's where I mess up.
www.www.
www.joeslakewoodcomputers.com. Literally the last thing I had to say on that is what I messed up.
Can't carry this team.
No.
Yeah, I'm not reading about forest fires, guys, because if you don't know about forest fires, Smokey the bear will come by and eat your children.
Smokey the polar bear. It's cold out.
Yes. Also check out Hanini Subs, located at 7310 Lorraine Avenue for the best subs in town. And while you're there, mention MSC Radio Network and get $1 off your meal.
Woo! Okay, back into the beta testing thingy.
Now,
Jig or what?
One of my favorite beta tests I've ever done was Mortal Online. It was a complete open world. You kill a boss. That boss is dead forever. It never comes back. It alters the terrain. It alters the map. Everything changes when it's done. You can literally max out your level in that game without ever touching a sword.
Perma boss death?
Yeah. Once you kill a boss, you can actually choose that boss when you start a new character. It was really, really in-depth, really interesting. You could block arrows with swords. You could actually get an army of like 800 people to go fight up against 10 people. Your arrows could actually block out the sun 300 style. This game had a lot of really cool shit. You could remap the roads. Like if you decided you wanted to read books on, making roads, you could literally rearrange the roads. You could set up a merchant ship and you could trade things. Or you could just fill it with warriors instead of goods. And when someone tried to hijack you, you could just kill them. But yeah, there was a lot of really cool things. And yeah, the beta for this was phenomenal. And then when it was released, they cut all of that crap out because the stress test in beta proved that 600 people versus 2 was a little too much for their servers to handle. So they decided to cut it down a lot. Needless to say, after looking at the game at its release, I decided I'm not going to pay for this. The beta was phenomenal, and I would have paid $100 to own the beta and play that as an actual game. However, beyond the beta, I wouldn't pay $10 for it. Yeah. So...
All right. Well, that leads us into what we needed. Next thing we want to actually talk with Tracy here about is about how to actually get into said betas and provide your input to the game. Now, as far as I'm aware,
we have to jump into the classes of betas first. You have your opens, your closed, etc. So.
Well, I think we talked about Hearthstone. That's a pretty big one, something pretty new. A Blizzard is a pretty big thing. They usually do a fair share amount of beta testing. They usually do it right. So, at least in most circumstances, not in all, but in a lot. So, as far as I'm aware, that's one of the easier ones to get into right now that it's gone into open beta testing. Simply, as long as you have a Battle.net account, you're able to just go to the Hearthstone official website and then you're in.
Yeah, pretty much. You just go to Battle.net, sign up for the account, and there you go. Download the game, you're in.
Right. Now, is it always that easy?
No, it's not always that easy. Sometimes you have to go through long, extensive applications to companies, and even though they're having an open beta, they look at your application. If your equipment doesn't actually match up to running the game, then, well, you're not in, and they will not let you in because they need people that are actually going to test. When you get into these things, you have to know that you're coming into an unfinished product. A lot of people seem to forget that, and they go into complain mode. They go into 12-year-old mode. They're like, I hate this game. It's not right. Things don't go right. I can't do quests. Well, that's your purpose. That's why you're there.
Right.
You need to actually set up the ability in your mind that I'm going to go into this test and it's not going to be right. I need to tell this company what's wrong, or else if you don't, then it's never going to get fixed.
Constructive criticism, not just bitching.
Yes.
My mission is to find what's wrong with the game and fix it so that other people don't try to run through the game when it's released and say, well, this sucks.
But most of the time when it comes to getting into a beta, it's as simple as having an email address, because if you don't have an email address, what year are you from? But if you don't have an email address, make one. It's easy. Go to Hotmail or Yahoo and then just apply. They will usually send you back your credentials so that you can get in. You will register for their site, and then you just go from there.
No.
That's pretty much
your Gmail even. And Gmail will help connect you with everything you need anyway. You should probably have a Gmail. If you have a Facebook, if you have a Twitter, if you have anything else, if you have a YouTube account, you have a Gmail.
Yep.
And if you're that into beta testing games and trying things out, if you're into keeping people connected, keeping yourself connected, and really getting into all of these things gaming-wise, you probably have the Gmail and all the things that can connect to it. At least a few of them. Yeah.
Well, no, you have to have at least one email address out there, guys. I mean, for example,
you need it to sign up for a lot of things.
For example, Rio, how many do you have?
Oh, goodness, how many? Let's see. Active ones, I probably have like 4 or 5 right now. Not to mention like dozens,
30 you forgot.
That I've forgotten. And then back in the days of like doing like when chat rooms used to be a big thing in the late 90s, early 2000s, and having creating booter programs and everything to control the chat room and basically use that as an MMO for the most part. Constantly creating different emails so that I could use those emails to go through various proxies to get back into a room if I was banned from it, or using them to run booter programs and crack passwords and things like that. You needed different ones to do that with, and just kind of like, I got a bunch of different ones in. Oh, hey, I can overload, and there's like I got the 5 or 6 people that I want in this room, and I'm gonna use just dummy emails to flood the rest of it so no one can get in.
And see, like me, in my programming classes at school, one teacher, one semester, all right, everyone has to have an AOL account. Next semester, okay, everyone has to have a Yahoo account. Okay, next semester, everyone has to have a Hotmail account. It's like, really? I've got 4 emails for this class alone.
If you're in college, you have an email account because you need to do that to submit a lot of
college
things.
Just set you up an email account.
Right.
I actually don't use my college email.
Right. Even if you don't use their college email, you have to have some sort of email to your professor's he's gonna fail you if you don't.
you have your emailed syllabus. Like, come on, guys. But yeah, so there's all sorts of that fun stuff. So getting a new beta test, a lot of times it is just as easy as type in your email. They send you the stuff, you download it, you're good, play.
Now, those are for the easier emails or the easier beta testing, like open beta testing, things like that. But there's more than just a regular open beta testing. What kinds of different things are there and why?
Like most of the time, you have your alpha test, which is, first release product. You have your second alpha test so that they can test to make sure that all the changes that they're going to do are actually going to work when they put it in the beta. Then you have your closed beta test. In your closed beta test, they usually grab the cream of the crop players that they know will probably test, or people that are in clans that can bring other people in, and they have them come in and test things. Still at these points, they are expecting you to give them information on what's wrong. Then you have your open beta test. During your open beta test, it's pretty much open to the public. It's more so a stress test, but there's still problems that can be found. It's a lot easier to find problems when instead of having 10,000 people test your game, you're having 2 million. And then you have your final, which is gold when the game is actually released.
Mm-hmm. Then you also have your invite-only beta tests. Some of the closed beta tests you actually have to apply. You'll turn in a resume of games that you've betaed before, open, closed, whatever you've betaed. What company, how many years you've been playing games, how many years you've been testing games. It's always good to throw in your computer specs. That way they have an idea of what you're working with, so they have an idea of what is needed to run it fully.
And to give people a basic idea of what they are looking for, I usually ask people, how many games have you beta tested?
I've beta tested
off the top of your head.
4 that I know of.
Okay, what about you, Rio?
Probably like 3 or 4.
I've beta tested 274 different games. I've alpha tested 40, and I've closed beta tested about 150 of the ones that I've open beta tested. Yeah, so they're usually looking for someone that's somewhere in the range of about 20 to 30. Sometimes they'll pull people from the lower ranges just so that they can get new life into it. But they're looking for you to actually they're looking for people that actually want to make the game happen.
Well, I was counting the closed betas. Yeah. I wasn't counting the open. Open betas, I can't keep track of those.
Yeah, open beta.
Track of open betas. Come on, guys.
I do.
Well, you don't count. well, actually, you do count. That's the issue here.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking like closed beta things that I've actually done mainly with like Call of Duty and like with Dead or Alive, things like that. Like back in like Dead or Alive 3 and Dead or Alive 4, and then you're going to Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, which promptly they just got kind of canned. Yeah. That was Xbox only, and I was a PC player going to PC because I was doing CVOP and doing tournaments and things like that, actually playing all the time. So when online gaming was becoming a big thing, you needed to actually test multiplayer maps and actually run through things and where are the holes, where can we do this, where can we do that, is this too much, is this too little?
Can I phase through a wall?
Right.
Always check the walls.
If you can phase through the wall, let the company know. Because if they don't fix it, then you have people running off the side of the map, sniping you from on top of buildings that you're not supposed to access.
Or sniping you from underground, like one of the Call of Duty maps one of my friends love to play. Call of Duty multiplayer has some serious bugs, and they really should start beta testing those before they release them. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. Even the download, expansion bundle map packs that they're charging you $15 for. Which actually brings me to another point. There are pay-to-play betas where you pay to beta test.
Yeah, some companies get to the point when they think, well, not only do we have a good product, but we have a good product that we can make money with right now. First access for anyone. You pay us money, or you give us a Kickstarter, or you pay us monthly, and you can beta test our game. Most of the time, those beta tests don't usually go so well, because you have people actually paying for an unfinished product. And the first thing people say when they're spending money on a product and it doesn't work is, I'm giving you my money to play a product that you guys aren't fixing. If a company isn't on top of their game, if they don't actually fix the things as it comes out, then most
give
of
you
the
a
beta
detailed
testers,
list of what's wrong.
Yeah, most people want a detailed list every month of what's going on, what are you fixing, what's wrong, what do you guys know is wrong, what are you working on. Paid tests don't work so well because the testers get tired. They get tired of paying the money to pay for a product that they're not actually.
It'd be like, if I'm paying for this, am I going to be able to get this money back in some sort of fashion? Be it when the game is finally released, do I get the full version for free? Do I get half of the money that I paid into it in terms, or it basically transferred into like in-game content or subscription time or something of that nature? Some sort of incentive to continue to pay to test your game. Also, someone who just has money but has no experience testing can also still pay and get in there.
And then you come into games like Hearthstone, where people are actually paying for booster packs right now, and the game is in closed beta. People are asking them not closed, open. And people are asking them, where is my return going to come from this? They haven't exactly publicized what they're going to do with it.
And
yet,
they've done wipes too.
Yeah, but they are going to do something with it. They are going to give people some type of monetary value in the game for the money that they spent on these booster packs. Otherwise, it'd be pointless.
And before when it was in closed beta, when they finally went to open beta January 21st, they did one final wipe and started everyone clean. But now, since it's been open in beta, you are playing for keeps. Anything that you get in the game, you are going to have when it finally releases. So that is one benefit. While you're opening, you are actually, and any money you spend on boosters, that's going to be yours.
And most games that I've encountered, after each phase of testing, they will actually do a complete wipe. Anyways, even after the open beta before release, most games will wipe again one last time before the release.
Most companies try to avoid it though, because that is like a serious deterrent to most people. You have me playing your game. I'm spending my time to play your game. I've spent 60 to 70 hours on this game, and you're just going to wipe it. You're open beta. You can't just carry this over. But that's unfair to the people that haven't been there when the game goes go, because a lot of people wait for that.
So they try to compensate with some kind of in-game currency usually, or some exclusive weapon, or something to kind of repay you and say, hey, thanks for helping out. Sorry we had to wipe your shit clean again, but here's something, hopefully you like it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's ridiculous. But, there's also the get paid to beta. These are extremely hard to get in on. I think I've only actually been in on one of these ever. And I don't really know. I
haven't even.
I know very few people who have actually been in on them. Basically, you turn in a complete resume. They will actually go back and look and contact those companies that you've baited for, and they will say, hey, how active were they? How much, did they help? What issues did they spot? Where, basically getting feedback from everyone that you've, tested for. And they're like, all right, so there's two different ways they usually do it. Sometimes they'll pay you, hey, for per hour that you're on the game, they'll give you so much money. Another way they've done it is through PayPal. Every time you send, an issue, if they deem it as a legitimate issue, they'll send you like a couple bucks to, a PayPal account for you. So there's different ways that they've done that over the years. The pay by the hour, a lot of people take advantage of. And then there's also people who try to take advantage of the legitimate claims, which that one's a lot harder to take advantage of. However, people still do, which deters a lot of the get paid to beta.
There is one other way to do it as well. A couple companies will send you, this is mainly done with console gaming. They'll send you an actual copy of their console, and they will send you the games that they want you to beta test, but they still expect you to put a certain amount of hours into these things.
Right. All right. Well,
it's kind of a good faith gesture in that regard, sort of.
All right. Running out of time here tonight. One quick question, though, just out of curiosity. What was the first game you ever beta tested?
The first game that I beta tested was Phantasy Star Online.
Oh, geez. Back in the old Dreamcast. All right. Well, I really wanted to get that out just because I was really curious. All right. Thank you guys for watching Unlocked Radio. I want to thank Tracy again for being on our show once more, giving us a lot of good input. I want to thank all of you for watching, and thank MSC Radio Network because they make all this stuff possible. Coming up next is High End Sports, followed by everything in between. You guys have a great Monday night.
Thank y'all. See you next week.